Hi, and welcome to the online crop. This is our Christmas in July. Let's get ready for Christmas crop. And I apologize. I was trying to get everything so we could go live. And a lot of you may have seen on YouTube a few things came up online crop and you tried to say hi and things. But I'm so sorry. I tried. My son tried. We're just having a heck of a time with the computer. So we're just going to do the videos, post them for you because we don't want you to miss out on anything. To get started, Christmas in July. We always think we're going to get started in July and we never do. Well, then October comes, we're like, oh, it's only October, we have time. And then December comes and we're pulling our hair out. We've got our husband downstairs helping us because we're freaking out. And you know what? It's time to start. We're going to make a new resolution for Christmas. We're going to start in July. So that's what we're going to do. So to get started, I'm going to show you this little project, but I want to show you this first. This is the Classic Christmas by Authentique. And it is just gorgeous. And they gave me some of the line, just the papers, because the stickers aren't quite ready, so that I would have it available for the crop. Oh, look at the checks. I know the camera is not doing it justice. Look how cute. I love the cut aparts in this line. We have Santa's wish list. And look at the long Christmas list. You've got some tags to use, and then the back. I know who wants to cut this paper, but the back is for journaling. You have another sheet of cut aparts that are 4x4s, and then your 2x3s, or 3x4s. 3x4s. Look at that. And the back. I love the brick. That's a layout right there. And I don't do a lot of layouts, but this would be a stunning layout. Then we have a lot of the filler background papers. And yes, Authentique has the greens and all these colors in their spectrum line to match. Even though you do get 12 sheets of each design, there's going to be the filler papers so that it fills in. Those are actually black dots. The lighting's gone kind of bad tonight. Love this one. Again, another really cute layout. And I love that the green is more of the, it's more, not a line, well, it kind of is a long, oh, I showed you that one. The lime green. And then here is our Santa Claus. So the project that we're going to make for this one is something that we all need. And here's the great thing. You can get this ready for Thanksgiving. And so you're going to the hostess's house, even if it's your daughter, daughter-in-law, your mother, a friend, take this along with you and you're going to get them all ready for Christmas. And yourself, don't forget yours. You're going to want this. And then the cut aparts that are inside, the printouts, they were a free printout from, oh goodness, I wasn't going to forget, from a website. They just don't want you to, of course, to duplicate them. They're the free printable from organizedchristmas.com. You're going to love it. So what I did is I used the Classic Christmas for this. And on the back, and I'm just loving this paper. Seam binding. I love seam binding because it lays so flat, or you can use any ribbon. Then when we open it, we have gift ideas. And what I've done is I cut them just kind of off, so don't look at my cutting off here. I cut them apart. When you print them out, you get 3 on each sheet, so they come out to be about 2 3/4 by 7 when you cut them. I just didn't cut my backing. And then I just cut 3 inches by 7 1/4. I should have measured better, but this one's for me, so I'm okay. So that it shows on the back side. And it will flip, just sit right inside there. And then you can also put receipts. Because I didn't put that together, it also, I don't adhere that down. It gives us some more room. The gift list. Oh yeah, that one was gift. Oh, I wanted to show you on the gift ideas. So while you're gathering all your information, then you've got this. You can make one of these into a birthday planner. They're great for other planners. And throw these in. Birthday, clothing size, favorites. So with me, it's going to be the grandkids, and I'm going to throw their sizes in there, so I'll have them for the next year. Then we have our gift list. You have 3 sheets. You can always print out. Oh, that was cute. You can always print out more. You don't have to just print out 1 sheet. And then, of course, I decorated it with the cut-aparts. Stocking stuffers. We always forget those when we get to the store. But how nice that you can just actually take your planner in your purse. Or you can take this, stick it in your purse. Now, let me tell you, one year I was in, I'm pretty sure it was just no, it was the BX up on the military base. And I took one of these out of my purse, and the lady just went nuts. And so I had to make her one. She had never seen anything like it, loved it. And so carry it around. It'll fit in your purse. You're going to love the size. It's about, from here to its widest, it's a little over 5 inches. And then we just tie it shut. And then, you know, you can put this away for next year. You can actually put pictures in it to remind you of what year it was. And this is what we're going to be making. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want is your file folder. And I know the lighting tonight has just gone weird on me. And I know I apologize about the lines with the right hand side. Now you're going to notice, for this, I am going to move this. Okay, bring the camera. Okay, you want to have this on the right hand side. You're going to open this. Just kind of make it, help it go flat. Okay, we're going to start with this corner, and yours may or may not have this, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up so that this circle here matches this circle here. Then I just pinch that end down. Now I'm keeping it centered. This center seam. I'm just going to push it down. We're going to be going over it with our bone folder. Then just match your edges here. And we're just going to really smooth that out. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to, sorry, I had glue on my fingers, and so you're going to bring this, your left hand side up with this notch. I'm turning it so that you can see. I have on my file folder, I happen to have line 1, line 2, and line 3. Now line 3 is the furthest line away from me, and I'm going to take this flat side here, keeping the top straight, and I am matching that with that 3rd line. So you can see now how it's coming together. Okay, I need my scoreboard back. So you can see now that's folded this way. Now you're going to pick it up and bring this to the back side. Now we're going to put this in the scoreboard. Whichever way fits best. And actually, my other bone folder. So mine's going to hit it at almost 5 1/4. Like I said, you'll just have to kind of work work it to see where it's going to go. And it didn't go so great, so I'm going to turn it to this side and restore. Then you'll be able to just fold that right over. Okay, so I'm just going to go over that again real quick. So we have it, we folded up the bottom, we took this rounded corner to that rounded corner, then we folded this one over to this furthest away line. Then, sorry, you picked it up from behind, and it has it basically a natural, and then we scored it just to help it go over smoother. And you might be able to just go ahead and bend it. So there you have the beginning of your folder. Now I bring this down. I've made so many of these, I already know. We're going to be cutting 7.5 inches your pattern paper, just down to 7.5 inches, because this will cover it. Now you're going to have a couple of different measurements. The first one, we want to measure clear over to this furthest side because we're going to have to cut the paper out to match. Or you can do like I did in my last one. I laid this down into my cutter and I cut that off. Let me see. Hopefully this little cutter will handle it. So I'm going to lay this down, and you don't have to cut this off. You can leave that if you want. Let me show you. If you leave it, it matches up somewhat with this piece, but see, I cut it off. And again, that's personal preference, and a lot of it was, it's a lot easier to mat this when that thing's gone. So that's the basic reason. So 7.5 by 4 is going to be your first one. 4 inches wide by 7.5. Then our middle one is going to be the same. By 7.5. There we go. This one, again, 4 by 7.5. So we have 3, which is nice. You're going to be able to do that with your 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Now on here, once again, it's up to you. You can cut that off. I like the way it looks. I'm leaving it. But you're going to want to cut your paper at 5 by 7.5. And instead of using my big cutter, I'll just go ahead and use my small cutter. And I'm going to pick out one of the paper designs. Probably one that's, I like to call these more of my filler because they're not the real heavy, interesting ones, if that makes sense. Now I am going to cut this at a length of 7.5. So I am just going to put it in my big cutter, which is to my left, so you can't see it. And we're going to cut this at 4 inches. Now one thing to consider, you may not want to cut that third one, so I'm going to cut it at 4, cut this one at 4, and because I like to alternate and I don't want to have just one odd one, I want 2 more that match. So I'm going to set that aside, pick out another paper. I probably should have had these all picked out, sorry. I'm going to go with the plaid. and the berries. So we cut that one at 7.5, and then I'm going to cut it at 4, and 5.5. No, 5. We just need it to be a little bit larger. Now at this point too, you might want to cut your back cover because you can use this as your pattern. So I will go ahead and cut my back cover. And I'm not really liking cutting this paper. It's really pretty. So let me go ahead and cut this one. I don't want to cut a lot of it, so I'm just going to cut the 5 inches that I need by 7.5. Okay. Now for the video, I usually would go ahead and ink my edges, and I used the frayed burlap on my last one, but I won't because I should have probably had all the paper, you know, ready to go. But this way you don't have to wait. So here's my 4 inside pieces, and then I'm going to use the polka dots on the back side. So I am going to start with this one. And I'm just going to lay it down with about 1/8 of an inch. Just fold it over. Grab my pencil. Just make sure things are straight. Now I'm not putting my paper all the way down to the bottom because I want it more towards the top. And I think I just moved it again. There we go. So just draw that out, or however you like to do it. And I like to just cut it by hand. Okay. Lay it down, see if you need to do any trimming, or sometimes you can just move it back towards your crease and you're fine. Then I like to turn this over and see how well it fits. And it looks like I do have some pencil here, so I am going to trim this. Okay, so I know on this one that I want to use this back side. So I'm just going to lay it right on top. And cut it off. And there's my back. Set that aside. And here's the front, inside. Okay, so now we can go ahead and attach our insides down. And I think we had quite a few orders on the glitter glue that we're now carrying. So if you're familiar with glitter glue, then you probably know it's a great product. And for years, I've been really reluctant to use glue. I'm just not a glue person because I'm so messy, like I've mentioned in some of my tutorials. But I'll tell you what, I just love this. I love that there's basically no drawing time, but you do have to work fast. And I just did a whole album tutorial with it, and I really, really like it. So let's see what we have here. And then our reindeer. So you may have received your glitter glue, and you'll have to let me know what you think. I know I have a few design team members that have been using it, and I just never listened to them. And I should have, because it's great stuff. So yes, now we're going to be carrying it. And what's nice is you don't have to buy your metal tip separate. And then I have the refills. Now, let me explain. The challenge comes in with our crop on you making your own planner, and it doesn't have to be Christmas. So if you don't have any leftover Christmas paper from last year, which I don't know many crafters that don't, but you can, or maybe you just got the new retro. This is going to be really cute. It's a good way also to use up your excess. And so this is where the challenge comes in. You'll have until Tuesday evening. And what happens is everybody that posts a challenge, you all go into a drawing. And we draw a winner for the grand prize. Oh, shoot. I forgot to tell you about this one, the front one. I got a little head myself. So if you didn't just catch that, we should have cut that beforehand. But you can cut it after. I forgot to tell you. Cutting it after is just fine. Okay. Now, I'll tell you a couple of things here. On my last one, what I do is I just glue these ends. Now, it's not really, you don't really have to. If your ribbon, you could actually put your ribbon in through there and have it tied. But I like to just go ahead and seal my ends. Let that dry for a minute. And then I do this one. And then because this pretty much stays like a book, I don't do the inside ones, but you can. You might get a little bit of pull, but you still can. Okay, so now we have our 4 little spots. You're going to cut 4 by 4 3 times. This one's a little bit bigger. No, sorry, 3 7/5. It's 3. It comes out to be 3 7/5. Where's my ruler? Yeah, I do 3 7/5 by 4. Double check your measurements though. Your file folders might be a little different. And then this one, I'm going to cut it at 4 1/2. So let's go ahead and get those cut. And you can just use what we've cut before. I'm just going to use my big cutter really quick. And then I want to check the size. So I just cut mine 3 7/8. Now I'm going to cut them into 4-inch squares. So there's one. There's two. Now once again, I'm going to pick a different one because I don't want the same paper. So I'm going to use the green stripes. For this one. And then I need to cut that down just a hair. And then I need to cut another one that's going to be 4 1/2. So let me see what I have here for some scraps. Perfect. This is from when I made the other one. Now the only thing with this is I need to cut this corner. And so I'm going to use my envelope punch board, and you can actually, we probably should have drawn it out first. But since I didn't, I'm just going to put it in my envelope punch board to the edge, to this edge, and push down, and I'll get that type of a corner. And it fits pretty well. I need to just cut off some of the length. And because these are file folders, and because we just fold, you know, we folded them manually, that's what happens. You sometimes just have to recheck your measurements after you put it down. So now we're just going to put our decorations on the front. And again, I think I may have to cut these down a little bit. See where that one fits there pretty good. Put that in the center, and let me just trim this one. Okay, let me keep on going. That's right. I wasn't going with the polka dots. Now I'm trying to keep the videos down to 30-35 minutes. So what I'm going to do is just go back and show you, because the files are in the group Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook, and we just posted, I'll have them posted so that you can save them to your computer. So you will save them to your computer, and then you can print them off, and you get 3 to a sheet, and then you'll just cut them into 3s. And you can, you know, put more than 3 pages. Maybe you have a really large family. So you want to cut 2 sheets of each. And I didn't dry too quickly on me. And that's where you want to print them off, and then you should have some strips left, and cut these 3. So your sizes could be a little different depending on how much you trim off. And you can then put them in what order you want. You could even print out some 2016 calendars, maybe that you want to go inside of there. So we won't be doing that part. Now for this outside part, the first thing you want to put on is your ribbon. So it just, you know, depends on what you're going to use. I'm going to just use another seam binding. Oh, before we move on to that. Okay, so all papers usually have their cut aparts. So what you're going to do is just choose the cut aparts that you want to use, or maybe you don't want to use any. You could just put journaling spots there for more notes. And this was one of the cut aparts. And they can stick up above. Love the Carta Bella. They're patterns. I mean, not pattern. I always say that. Textured cardstock. It's quite a bit heavy. The Authentique. I think I said Carta Bella, didn't I? Oh, that's a cutie. Let It Snow. Now my other one, I didn't let them stick up. I had trimmed them, but I want to go ahead and let them stick up for this one. Some of it's for time, and because I do like that look. And let's see. We'll take the birds. And you can decorate these pockets, of course, any way you wish. I'll have to go back through, I'm sure, and stick things down a little better. Okay, seam binding. So you can do this a couple of ways. You can have it underneath your pattern paper like I did on this one, or you can actually put it across the top. So if you just want the ribbon out, I like it underneath. And for that, I am going to go ahead with some score tape. And I'm lining it up because you need it to tie underneath there. And then, like I mentioned, the seam binding is a lot thinner. And there we go. So there's our closure. Now we already have this cut out for the back, so you can also see how quick. So in the video here, we made this in about 30 minutes. So you go to a crop, a friend's house, you sit down on a Saturday, you can whip out 5 or 6 of these, and then you have all kinds of gifts for your groups that you know belong to, that you go to, your family. And this is one of my favorites. So actually you can poke the hole and, you know, add a ribbon in there, and then you can put to and from. So you can use any kind of tag like that to put on the back if you're using it for a gift. And for my front, I just need to cut a 4-inch. I'm sure we're still here a little bit more than 7.5 about. So let me cut that. And for this one, I want to use this one. I really like it. So let me cut it on my big cutter. 7.5. Now again, I have that little cutout there. Let me just take a hair more off. You can lay it there. Draw that corner off. And then you have one more thing that you can cross off of your getting ready for Christmas list. Because how many of us want to have a planner, and how many of us never get it done? And to be honest with you, I am not going to cover this. It's just, I can't. I love it just like that. Just tie, cut off your ribbon where you want it, and there you have your Christmas planner ready to go, ready for gifts, great housewarming gifts. And I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Now remember, this is the challenge, so make your own planner, whether it be Christmas, it can be just any kind of paper you want to use. And then post the pictures on the Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations page by Tuesday evening, and you'll be put in for the drawing. And I will see you back at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, and we'll be heading off for a game, so you're not going to want to miss it. See you back on the page. Bye-bye.